The screech of tires tore through the quiet of Oak Ridge, a sleepy suburb where Saturdays smelled of fresh-cut grass and barbecue smoke. 13-year-old Lucas Reed froze, his electric wheelchair humming faintly at the faded crosswalk on Cedar Lane. A black SUV, its windows dark and menacing, lurched over the curb and skidded to a halt, cutting him off. Two men spilled out, their boots hitting the pavement with predatory intent. They weren't cops, not real ones. Their navy uniforms, stamped with Neighborhood Oversight Crew in bold white letters, screamed authority, but the lack of badges and the cold glint in their eyes told Lucas he was in trouble. His fingers tightened on the joystick of his chair, its dinosaur stickers catching the sunlight. Born with muscular dystrophy, Lucas lived for the freedom of these streets. But now, with a cherry soda fizzing in his cup holder, he felt like a deer in a hunter's sights. Oak Ridge was a postcard of suburban peace-neat lawns, American flags fluttering on porches, kids scribbling chalk art on sidewalks. Lucas loved zipping through it, his custom wheelchair purring like a sports car, its tiny horn chirping as he waved to neighbors. That afternoon, he'd sped past Mrs. Harper's tulips, grinned at Mr. Gomez hosing his driveway, and taken the corner at Cedar Lane with a practice tilt. The crosswalk was empty, no stoplight, just a worn patch of paint and the hum of distant sprinklers. Then the SUV roared in, and the world tilted. The taller man, wiry with a soldier's posture, barked, "Hold it, kid." His partner, stocky with a shaved head and a sneer, loomed closer. "You ran a red light," he said, gesturing at nothing. Lucas frowned. "There's no light here," he said, his voice steady but small, the way his mom taught him to speak to strangers. The tall man scoffed. "Don't play dumb. You're a danger on these sidewalks. We're in charge here." Lucas eased his chair back, but the stocky man grabbed its handle, yanking hard. The chair lurched, soda spilling across the pavement. Then came the kick, deliberate, steel-toed, slamming into the chair's frame and Lucas's leg. A sickening crack echoed, drowned by Lucas's scream, a raw sound that stilled the air. Pain seared through him, his VY shone blurring as he clutched his shin. Curtains twitched in nearby windows, but no one stepped out. The men muttered about fines and compliance, their voices a haze of menace. 20 feet away, in a tidy bungalow with rose bushes, Evelyn Hart watched from her Lee-Vying room. Lucas's grandmother, 71, stood frozen, her tea mug forgotten. Evelyn wasn't just any grandmother. For 20 years, she'd been a cutwoman in professional boxing, patching up fighters' faces and staring down chaos in the ring. She knew pain, fear, and the difference between real authority and dressed-up cowardice. What she saw now was cruelty in cheap uniforms. Her gray eyes narrowed. She set her mug down, grabbed a worn gym bag from a closet still packed with gauze and tape and picked up her cane, a polished oak piece with a steel core. She didn't run. She didn't shout. She walked to the door, each step deliberate. Outside, Lucas's sobs cut through the air. His chair was dead, its wheel bent, joystick useless. The stocky man leaned in. "Lucky we don't impound this. Next time, follow the rules." Lucas choked. "I didn't do anything." A voice sliced through, calm but sharp. "Excuse me." The men turned. Evelyn stood at her lawn's edge, in a gray tracksuit, silver hair in a tight ponytail. She held an ice pack in one hand, her cane in the other, not for support, but for impact. "You just broke my grandson's leg," she said, her tone flat but heavy. The tall man squared his shoulders. "This is official business, ma'am. Neighborhood protocol." Evelyn's lips twitched. "No, this is assault." The stocky man snorted, stepping forward. "Back inside, lady." Evelyn didn't blink. "You know the carotid artery?" she asked, her voice steady. The men hesitated. "Press it just right, and you're out in seconds. I've stopped fighters from bleeding out through it. Never started the process myself." "Not yet." Her eyes locked onto theirs, unyielding, and the air shifted. The men stepped back, instinctive. Lucas, trembling, whispered, "Grandma." Evelyn didn't break her gaze. "You picked the wrong kid, the wrong street, the wrong family." The moment hung taut. Evelyn's cane wasn't just a tool. A gift from a boxer she'd saved from a knockout. It was balanced like a baton, its rap on the ring floor a signal to stop. Now, it was a quiet threat. The tall man waved a clipboard. "We're enforcing a traffic ordinance." Evelyn tilted her head. Oak Ridge dissolved its HOA 4 years ago after a scam. "You're not enforcers. You're frauds." The stocky man's jaw twitched. "Keep talking." And Evelyn cut him off, her voice low. "And what? You'll hurt me too? Try it. But check your own balance first." "It's slipping." A hum broke the tin's eye on a phone camera. Mr. Gomez, leaning on his hose, was filming. A teen on a bike held up her phone. Mrs. Harper, with a grocery bag, recorded from her porch. The men froze, their authority crumbling. Evelyn's voice dropped. "You think a uniform makes you powerful? I've seen men tougher than you fold under real pressure. You're not enforcers. You're cowards in costumes." The stocky man tried to laugh, but it faltered. Evelyn leaned forward. "Want to know how fast a wrist breaks under 5 pounds of torque?" The tall man muttered, "We should go." But the stocky man, desperate, reached for Lucas's chair. Evelyn's cane flashed, slamming the pavement between his hand and Lucas's armrest. The crack rang like a gunshot, and the man stumbled back, sweat on his brow. "One more move," Evelyn said, "and you'll need a straw to drink." "That's not a threat. That's math." Sirens wailed faintly, growing louder. Evelyn tilted her head. "Clock's ticking." The sirens arrived, steady an INEVY table. 2 patrol cars rolled up, lights flashing. Neighbors emerged, kids, parents, an old man in slippers, phones out, anger simmering. Evelyn stepped between Lucas and the men, her cane planted. The tall man mumbled, "We didn't mean to escalate, but it was hollow." Evelyn didn't respond. Officers stepped out, a woman with a calm demeanor and a man built like a tank. "He's the VY Tim," Evelyn said, nodding at Lucas, his jeans bloody. "They're the problem. Get my grandson an ambulance before I start fixing things my way." The female officer knelt by Lucas. "Hey, buddy, what's your name?" "Lucas," he gasped. "My leg hurts bad." "We've got you," she said, while VYing to EMTs. The male officer faced the men. "IDs." The stocky man hesitated, but the tall one produced a flimsy card. "Neighborhood Oversight Volunteer." The officer snorted. "No such thing here. Cuffs on." As the men were restrained, the stocky one glanced at Evelyn, seeking mercy. She raised an eyebrow. "You had your out. Now you get the stage." Paramedics lifted Lucas onto a stretcher. He looked at Evelyn, managing a weak smile. "You were scary." She chuckled, brushing his hair back. "That's the plan." As the ambulance pulled away, the crowd cheered. "Mr. Gomez yelled, "That's Evelyn Hart." A teen posted the VY Deo online. "Fake cops attack kid, get owned by grandma." It racked up thousands of VYUs in hours. Evelyn didn't stay for praise. She started home, but an officer stopped her. "That VY Deo's going VY Rel. You just made their worst day." Evelyn shrugged. "I did it for Lucas." That night, as Lucas rested in the hospital, leg casted, dinosaur toys piling up, Evelyn called an old friend, a retired detective named Carla Vega. "Carla, these guys weren't random. Look into it." Carla's digging revealed a scam. Ex-guards posing as HOA enforcers, extorting residents with fake fines across suburbs. Oak Ridge was their latest hit. The VY Deo, plus Evelyn's tip, cracked the case. 5 arrests followed, including the ringleader, a failed security contractor named Derek Voss. He'd sold enforcement kits online, preying on fear. Evelyn testified at the trial, her presence silencing the courtroom. In a sharp blazer, cane at her side, she recounted the incident with precision. The jury, moved by the VY de Lucas's pain, Evelyn Stancon VY Ted unanimously. Voss got 7 years. His crew got less. Outside, reporters swarmed. "Are you a hero?" one asked. Evelyn replied, "I'm a grandmother." "That's plenty." Oak Ridge knit itself back together. Neighbors waved more, lingered to talk. Kids painted sidewalks, and Lucas, in a new wheelchair with flame decals, led the charge. At Cedar Lane, he drew a chalk velociraptor, With Evelyn's help, artists made it a permanent mural, its claws guarding the crosswalk. Below, in bold, here a boy stood. Here a woman fought. Here we stand. The story spread. A state law, the Reed Act, targeted impersonation scams. Lucas's school funded accessibility upgrades, and Evelyn became a quiet legend. Teens called her the Cane, and a carved raptor appeared on her porch with a note for the woman who roared. But the real win was Lucas's request. Weeks later, rolling beside Evelyn to the mural. "Can we keep drawing?" She handed him chalk. "Always, kid." If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.